her hanging out with rappers, essentially.
Nah, hell no. She had this thing about her where she looked like I was jealous or something, so she kind of started doing shit. My whole thing was like, once you become an artist, certain shit just is like, it's frowned upon, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, networking, dope. Take a picture, cool.
Right.
You know, get in the studio, cool. But a lot of these guys, they're not really trying to work. You know?
Right.
They're just trying to make it look like something it's not, and just basically just stake your buzz. And she just kept going for it. She just keeps going for it. Like,
do you know if it was true?
I'm looking like, get the feature.
Well, I was gonna say, do you know if it was true? Because there was this rumor that Offset hooked up with Chrisean Rock.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, she got.
While y'all were together?
Nah, I was already engaged with somebody else, so I didn't care. But she has this thing where she likes to make it seem like I care.
Right. So she Offset while he was with Cardi.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right. The Miss Christian that
Oh, that's.
Oh, that shit's cat, brother. She's like one of these regular great, bro. She's going, and it's no problem with it, gang. You feel me? It's just when you try to portray something else, that's when it becomes a problem. Like,
it's just weird that anybody who has for the rest of her life will have to see her face.
Yeah.
Brace yourself, because what I'm about to tell you makes the Kardashians look like a quiet knitting club. Blueface just made a final, scorched earth, no turning back move against Chrisean Rock. And the crazy part, she didn't see any of it coming. Not a hint, not a clue, not even one of those spiritual dreams she swears she gets at 3 a.m. Nope, this man pulled off a plot twist so wild. Netflix is somewhere crying in the shower wishing they wrote it first. And trust me, when I say final move, I don't mean a little petty subtweet or a weak IG story. Oh no. Blueface came through with something so dramatic, so explosive. So career therapy session involving that even Zeus Network executives reportedly paused mid-argument just to watch. The streets are buzzing, the blogs are foaming at the mouth, and Twitter is doing what Twitter does best, losing its mind in 4K. Because this is personal. This is messy. This is the Blueface versus Chrisean saga entering its season finale with a cliffhanger so disrespectful it should be illegal in 3 states. So buckle your seatbelt, grab your popcorn, and don't blink, because once you hear what Blueface just did, you'll understand why the internet is screaming. Chrisean was not ready for this one. Blueface didn't ease into this mess. He didn't warm up, stretch, or take a deep breath. He jumped straight into the chaos headfirst like a man who finally snapped after years of spiritual, emotional, and possibly dental suffering. His final move wasn't born overnight. It was brewing, bubbling, simmering like toxic soup while the whole world watched their relationship collapse in real time. And now that the smoke is clearing, people are piecing together the timeline like detectives who suddenly realized the plot twist was under their noses the whole time. For months, there were warning signs. The cryptic tweets, the late-night live rants, the energy of a man who looked like he needed both a hug and a restraining order. Fans brushed it off as just another episode in the toxic Olympics. But insiders claim Blueface had been planning something far bigger than the usual back-and-forth drama. Something designed not to hurt Chrisean for a weekend, but to change the entire battlefield. Something she would never expect from a man she once thought could barely charge his phone without supervision. People close to the situation say the tension really snapped when Chrisean started moving around like she was untouchable. The viral lives, the arguments with family members, the meltdowns on timelines, it all stacked up until Blueface allegedly started thinking, okay, but if she wants chaos, I'll give her chaos deluxe with extra fries. And that's exactly when the rumblings of this final move began. The kind of rumblings you only feel when someone is about to go nuclear. Things escalated when Chrisean started dragging Junior into the storyline every other day. 1 minute she was crying, the next she was throwing shade, then claiming secret messages from angels. Blueface watched all of it like a man who had lost the remote and couldn't escape the show. Every meltdown, every accusation, every wild rant pushed him a little closer to pressing that big red button. The button labeled "End this entire saga forever." What really sent Blueface over the edge, according to people online who swear they have sources, was the sudden shift in Chrisean's behavior. She went from wanting peace to wanting smoke with everyone: Carlissa, Jaden, bloggers, random neighbors. Even the air seemed to offend her. And while she spiraled, Blueface started moving in silence, something nobody expected from a man who usually lives on the internet like it's his natural habitat. Then came the leak. The moment that turned the internet upside down. A mysterious clip, a voice note, a screenshot, nobody can even agree where it came from. All anyone knows is that it exposed Blueface's plan before he even officially announced it. And once fans saw it, the timelines lit up like fireworks on New Year's Eve. Suddenly, everyone had theories. Everyone had predictions. Everyone thought they knew exactly what his final move was. But every guess was wrong. The first reactions were explosive. Half the fans screamed that Blueface was finally taking back control of his life. The other half shouted that he was out of line, out of pocket, out of patience, and out of sanity. Comment sections became war zones. Threads turned into battlegrounds. People who hadn't even spoken in years were suddenly debating like political experts, as if the future of the country depended on who was right about Blueface. Meanwhile, Chrisean had no idea what was coming. She was busy fighting shadows, posting cryptic messages, and telling people she was focused on her peace while causing absolute turbulence everywhere she went. But the people watching closely noticed she started acting nervous, tweeting then deleting, posting then disappearing, going live then abruptly ending it like she heard the Illuminati knocking at the door. She could feel something shifting around her, but she couldn't pinpoint what. This wasn't like their usual drama. This felt different. This felt organized, calculated, almost professional. Which is hilarious, because the words Blueface and professional rarely share the same sentence. But the whispers online said he had help. Not from fans, not from friends, not even from family, but from someone unexpected. Someone who knew how to shut things down without leaving fingerprints. Someone who could change the entire narrative with one phone call. By the time the dust started forming, Blueface had already set everything in motion. Documents were allegedly filed, calls were made, decisions were locked in. And the craziest part, he didn't announce it with his usual chaos. No live rants, no messy stories, no subliminal threats. Just silence. Cold, dangerous silence that had everyone checking their timelines like the final boss was about to spawn. And oh, when word reached Chrisean, everything stopped. Her energy shifted instantly. She snapped at fans, she snapped at family, she snapped at anyone breathing near her. That's when people realized she finally understood the gravity of what Blueface had done. The final move wasn't just a clap back. It wasn't a diss track. It wasn't a messy post. It was something that could alter her career, her public image, her entire storyline. People who've watched them for years swear this is the moment the saga officially changed. Blueface wasn't trying to embarrass her. He wasn't trying to argue. He wasn't even trying to defend himself. He was trying to end the game entirely, to flip the board, to walk away while she was still trying to figure out which piece was the queen. This move had weight behind it. It had strategy. It had the kind of energy that says, "I'm done being the villain" in her documentary. And while the internet exploded with theories, the truth remained locked behind the scenes until Blueface himself was ready to reveal the full play. The anticipation grew so loud that even celebrities who normally mind their business started following the drama like a series finale they didn't want to miss. And still, Chrisean didn't see it coming. Not because she wasn't paying attention, but because she underestimated how far he was willing to go. She never believed he would actually play a card that powerful. A move that could shift custody battles, public narratives, network deals, and fan loyalty all at once. But Blueface did. And when the final details dropped, everyone realized this wasn't just drama anymore. This was a declaration, a turning point, a silent warning shot wrapped in paperwork, timing, and pure strategy. And don't worry, the bomb hasn't even fully detonated yet. The real chaos comes next at the second the leak spread. The internet reacted like someone announced free iPhones in a crowded mall. Chaos, screaming, digital stampedes. People didn't even read the whole leak before forming dissertations, conspiracy theories, and TikTok predictions with dramatic background music. Overnight, Blueface and Chrisean were back at the top of the trending list, pushing actual world news to the side like, "Move, we're the main characters again." Memes came flying in like missiles. One showed Blueface dressed as Thanos snapping his fingers while Chrisean faded away like dust. Another had Chrisean clutching Junior while dramatic church music played in the background with captions like, "God, give me strength to not pull a Chrisean today." The internet didn't just react, it went viral. Entire group chats were reborn from the dead just to discuss the chaos. Celebrities who normally pretend they don't watch messy drama suddenly became social media scholars. You could practically hear them typing. Offset tweeted something vague about knowing when to walk away, and fans immediately connected it to Blueface. Tamar Braxton dropped a cryptic eye emoji, and social media detectives treated it like FBI-level evidence. Even Lil Boosie popped out yelling that he knew this was coming, even though nobody asked him anything. Meanwhile, Blueface stayed unbothered, sitting somewhere with the energy of a man who finally mailed a package he's been avoiding for 3 months. That eerie calm he had only fueled the speculation. Fans said he looked way too relaxed, like he had just watched the season finale early and already knew the plot twist that was about to break the internet. Every hour he stayed silent felt like he was tightening an invisible rope around Chrisean's entire storyline. Chrisean, on the other hand, spiraled into a digital hurricane. She switched from rage to tears to holiprofesies in a matter of minutes. Her energy was bouncing like her Wi-Fi was possessed. One minute she was defending herself, the next she was threatening to air out secrets. And then she suddenly claimed to be walking in faith. Faith was working overtime that day because fans weren't buying any of it. They wanted answers, details, receipts, the full curriculum. The wildest part was how Chrisean supporters split down the middle like a messy church choir fight. Half blamed Blueface, yelling that he'd crossed a line. The other half insisted she brought this on herself by constantly poking the bear like she thought he wasn't gonna roar back eventually. Comment sections became gladiator arenas, where strangers fought to the internet death over to people who wouldn't recognize them in public. Blogs made the situation even worse. Every hour, a new exclusive dropped. Some said Blueface was going after full custody. Others said he was filing legal blocks. Some even claimed he was teaming up with Carlissa, which terrified everyone because, let's be honest, Carlissa on your side is both a blessing and a curse. The woman is passionate, loud, and ready for war at all times. Adding her to any plot is like adding hot sauce to an already spicy disaster. Through all the noise, people kept asking the same question. What pushed Blueface to this point? What snapped inside him? How did he go from arguing online to executing a move so calculated it felt like a chess grandmother decided to stop playing checkers? The answer came in pieces. Fans dug up old clips, old interviews, past arguments, all the moments where Chrisean publicly humiliated him, accused him, dragged him, or made his life look like a reality show without commercial breaks. They stitched it together and suddenly the narrative made sense to millions. Blueface wasn't reacting. He was retaliating. The twist came when an insider leaked a voice note claiming that Blueface had been documenting everything for months. Not days, not weeks, months. Every meltdown, every rant, every incident, every moment that made him look like the villain. Fans erupted when they heard this. They said he was building a case like a man preparing for the final boss fight in his own life. The idea of Blueface taking notes sent the internet into hysterics. Memes popped up showing him wearing glasses, holding a clipboard, and saying, "Interesting, very interesting," while Chrisean threw things in the background. People joked that he turned into a federal agent overnight, gathering evidence like he was auditioning for Law and Order. But beneath the jokes, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, his silence wasn't seen as weakness. It was seen as strategy. Fans called it the Blueface takedown plan, a masterclass in staying quiet while the other person self-destructs publicly. They compared him to Beyoncé, who never responds to drama but still wins every war through silence and precision. More celebrities chimed in once the story got hotter. Summer Walker liked a post about protecting your peace, and the internet immediately connected it to Chrisean. Nicki fans claimed Blueface was showing queen behavior. Even Doja Cat's fans dragged her into it, insisting she'd write a whole album about this level of messiness. Nobody was safe from being inserted into the storyline, not even innocent bystanders who were asleep. The twists didn't stop. New screenshots surfaced, messages Blueface allegedly sent to close friends explaining he was done with the circus. He wrote that he wanted stability, normalcy, and a life without waking up to 20 missed calls and 15 emotional explosions before breakfast. Fans were shocked. They said they didn't know whether to laugh or cry, because imagining Blueface craving peace felt like imagining a shark wanting to become vegan. As more leaks dropped, the narrative spiraled out of control. The public was no longer viewing this as just another fight. They started treating it like the downfall of a toxic empire. Chrisean's overreactions looked wild in contrast to his quiet moves. Every time she ranted, it made him look even calmer. Every time she threatened to expose something, it made him seem more strategic. Every time she posted something emotional, it fueled the impression that she was losing her grip while he held all the cards. Then came the celebrity reaction that sent everybody over the edge. Wack 100 chimed in with a video saying he'd been warning everyone for years. Fans treated his statement like the gospel of messy hip-hop uncles. He hinted that Blueface did what he had to do and that people don't respect peace until you take it by force. That line alone turned into thousands of TikToks, edits, and reactions. But the biggest twist was yet to come. A mysterious legal document began circulating online, blurred, incomplete, but enough for fans to go insane. It hinted at a move so serious it would change the entire dynamic forever. People froze. Theories erupted. The internet went into emergency mode. Some said Blueface wanted full custody. Others said he wanted a legal separation from all her chaos. Some even went as far as claiming he was removing her access to his entire brand, name, and financial network. The guessing game became its own sport, with fans betting on outcomes like it was the Super Bowl. And through it all, Chrisean continued unraveling online. Posting, deleting, crying, raging, praying, laughing, threatening. She was a full emotional roller coaster with no safety bar. The more she panicked, the more people believed Blueface had won around. Nobody even knew he was playing. What made everything worse for her was that every influencer and blogger jumped in with their own twist. They painted her as unpredictable, unstable, and out of control. Meanwhile, Blueface suddenly looked like a man trying to escape a burning building while she threw gasoline everywhere. And the craziest part, the final reveal still hadn't dropped. Blueface was still silent, still waiting, still in full chess master mode. The world had never seen him play this smart or this cold. Whatever was coming next wasn't just a move. It was the move. The one that would shock the entire culture. The one she never thought he would be bold enough to execute. And everyone knew when it landed. The internet would explode all over again. When Blueface finally dropped the bomb, the world stopped like someone unplugged the Wi-Fi. The final move wasn't a diss track, a messy interview, or some emotional meltdown on Live. It was something far more deadly in the world of public scandals, an action with real-world consequences, a move with paperwork, a move with signatures, a move that said, "I'm tired of going viral for free. I'm choosing peace, even if peace has to be delivered through legal mail." The aftermath hit Chrisean harder than a chair in a Zeus reunion episode. Suddenly, she wasn't posting confidently anymore. The bravado turned into confusion. The confusion turned into panic. And the panic turned into that quiet, unsettling silence she only gets right before she goes live, crying and threatening to expose everyone. Except this time, she didn't go live right away. That alone told fans the situation was serious. People knew something was wrong when Chrisean's usual reaction wasn't rage. It was disbelief. She genuinely didn't think Blueface would ever go this far. She underestimated the months of frustration boiling in the background. She forgot that even the most chaotic man eventually reaches a point where he wants to reclaim his storyline. And Blueface did it with the efficiency of someone who had been taking notes for a documentary titled How to Escape Toxicity 101. The consequences began unfolding faster than she could respond. Suddenly, companies were pulling back, waiting to see how the situation would affect public perception. Networks paused their offers. Brands stopped reaching out. Even fan pages that usually worshipped her energy started switching sides, saying Blueface low-key had a point. The shift was brutal. It was like watching a digital earthquake shake her entire image overnight. And while the public dissected every detail, Blueface walked around with the confidence of a man who finally slept 8 hours for the first time since 2019. His energy changed completely. He wasn't trolling. He wasn't arguing. He wasn't doing interviews. He simply moved like someone whose head finally stopped spinning. For the first time, fans saw what he looked like when he wasn't drowning in Chrisean's chaos. And honestly, it scared them a little. Relationships around Chrisean also began unraveling. Family members stepped back. Friends suddenly vanished. People close to her didn't want to get dragged into a legal hurricane. Even those who loved her realized she needed to slow down and breathe. But Chrisean wasn't built for slow down. Her emotions move at the speed of sound. And the entire situation threw her into a crisis she didn't have the tools to manage. Online. The reactions were split like the world was watching a televised custody war. Some said Blueface was being strategic. Others said he was being heartless. But the consensus was clear. This was the end of an era. A messy, dramatic, exhausting, entertaining era that had consumed the internet for years. Fans compared it to the final breakup episode of a reality show where everyone secretly knew it was coming but still couldn't believe it finally arrived. Public perception swung wildly. Blueface, who had spent years being painted as the villain in the relationship, suddenly looked like the guy trying to escape a house full of explosives. Meanwhile, Chrisean's increasingly frantic reactions made her seem unpredictable, like someone who couldn't accept losing control of the narrative. Even neutral people started saying, "I don't know what Blueface did, but the way she's acting, I understand now." Celebrities began reacting again, this time with more clarity. Tamar Braxton mentioned that you can only push a man so far before he chooses his sanity. Cardi B liked a tweet that said, "Let people walk away in peace." Let people walk away in peace. Fans freaked out, thinking every like and repost was part of the saga. It was a full Hollywood-sized ripple effect, dragging people into the drama even if they were on vacation minding their own business. But the true shock came from the consequences Chrisean didn't predict. Her legal situation started shifting. People began questioning her credibility. Journalists dug up old incidents, comparing timelines and pointing out inconsistencies she thought everyone forgot. The more people analyzed, the more cracks appeared in her public persona. It wasn't just backlash, it was a full-blown image collapse. For years, Chrisean had been the internet's unpredictable firecracker, the girl who turned every situation into a viral moment. But suddenly the same unpredictability was being used against her. Fans who once found her entertaining were now calling her reckless. People who defended her in every argument began stepping back, claiming they were exhausted. Even blogs that wrote hard for her started posting more neutral takes. Waiting to see how the storm settled, the more isolated she became, the louder Blueface's final move echoed. His silence wasn't just silence anymore. It was a statement, a strategy, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. By staying quiet, he let the world draw its own conclusions, and the conclusions weren't in her favor. As the days passed, the consequences piled up. Brand partnerships she hinted at suddenly went cold. Shows she expected to film paused. Even the people around her began urging her to calm down, focus on herself, and stop giving the internet weekly episodes of chaos. But Chrisean isn't known for subtlety. Emotional explosions are her trademark, and the pressure pushed her closer to another detonation. The wildest part was how the industry reacted behind the scenes. Executives whispered privately about the risk factor associated with her. They wondered if she could stay stable long enough to complete a project. Some suggested she needed a public reset. Others thought she should take a break from the spotlight entirely. But Chrisean's brand has always been built on being unpredictable, and for the first time, that unpredictability was costing her more than it rewarded her. Meanwhile, Blueface's image started to rise in unexpected ways. Fans said he seemed calmer, more grounded, almost like a man who'd finally returned from emotional warfare. Blogs wrote articles with titles like "Did Blueface just make the smartest move of his career?" and "Is this the beginning of Blueface's redemption arc?" It was the most unexpected glow-up in hip-hop relationship history. As Chrisean scrambled to regain control, she realized too late that Blueface's final move wasn't meant to embarrass her. It was meant to protect himself, to put boundaries in place, to reclaim his own narrative from the non-stop circus. And that's what stunned her the most. She never imagined he would step away entirely. She always assumed the chaos bonded them. She believed the toxicity was mutual. But Blueface walked away like someone who finally realized the fire was burning him more than it entertained others. The dynamic completely shifted. Chrisean could no longer throw one chaotic episode online and expect the world to instantly rally behind her. Blueface wasn't playing that game anymore. His silence stole her power. His distance removed the fuel from every argument. And his final move rerouted the public's sympathy toward him in real time. Every day that passed felt like a new chapter in the fallout. Fans kept refreshing timelines, waiting for another twist. People wondered if Chrisean would retaliate. They wondered if Blueface would ever respond. They wondered if the story was truly over or if this was just the calm before an even bigger storm. And when Chrisean finally broke her silence, posting a long emotional rant, the internet didn't react the same way it used to. Instead of cheering, people questioned. Instead of supporting, they analyzed. Instead of defending, they debated. The shift was complete. Her words didn't hit like they once did. The narrative had changed permanently. By the end of the week, everyone realized the truth. Blueface hadn't just made a final move, he changed the entire game. He reset the board. He stepped out of the circus and left Chrisean performing tricks nobody wanted to watch anymore. And whether people agreed with him or not, they couldn't deny the impact. The scandal didn't just expose their relationship. It exposed how quickly the public can switch sides, how fast loyalty fades, how unpredictable fame becomes when chaos is the product. And even though Blueface won this round, the world knows one thing for certain. With these two, the saga is far from over. Another explosion is always waiting around the corner. And the next one might make this entire finale look tame. And if you made it this far without throwing your phone across the room, congratulations, you officially survived another episode of the Blueface Chrisean cinematic universe. Honestly, give yourself a round of applause. Not even Marvel delivers plot twists this unhinged. This saga has everything: legal chaos, emotional explosions, celebrity reactions, mystery documents, and a man attempting to find peace like it's a limited edition sneaker drop. Now listen, before you sprint into the comments section to argue with total strangers about who's right and who's delusional, hit that like button like it owes you back pay. Smash it the way Chrisean smashes doors, the way Blueface smashes his own reputation every 6 months, the way Twitter smashes memes together whenever these two breathe wrong. Go ahead, apply pressure, and make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, next week, tonight at 3 a.m., another scandal is absolutely going to drop, and you do not want to be the person who finds out late like you missed the bus. Around here, scandals don't sleep, they respawn. They multiply. They evolve like Pokemon with trauma. Turn on notifications so you get the tea before the blogs remix it, before TikTok adds dramatic music, before Carlissa jumps on live yelling at somebody nobody asked about. You want the truth. You want the exaggeration. You want the sarcasm marinated in controversy sauce. This is the place. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think won this round? Who's spinning the narrative? And more importantly, who's about to snap next? Because let's be honest, with this duo, calm is just the pregame. This has been Scandal Spark, where chaos gets reported with love, drama gets roasted with passion, and the truth always arrives. A little messy. A little messy.